If you've never been to a photography expo before, you are seriously missing out. I recently went to two of them, one of them being the massive expo BILD by B&H in New York City. And it gave me some serious motivation for my photography and this channel. From hands-on gear demos to meeting top photographers to soaking up real industry knowledge, it was next level. Honestly, I think every photographer, videographer, and content creator should attend expos like these, and here's why. What's up? My name is Jay LeBlanc, wedding photographer and photo video educator. The BILD Expo was amazing. I recently got back from it. I tried making this video sooner for you, but I had to work the next 4 days in a row. So here it is for you now. Honestly, I've been watching this expo grow year after year, and B&H, honestly, for a free expo, does an amazing job. If you've never been before, think of it as a playground for photographers, videographers, and content creators. It is just so much fun, and all your friends are there. And I also attended an event at a local camera store, Unique Photo in Fairfield, New Jersey, which it's local, but it's still about 2 hours away from me. But even a camera store that isn't B&H could put on an amazing event where they had great top-notch speakers, tons of brands, plus you got to play with gear. There's also WPPI, Imaging USA, Shutterfest, Photo Plus, just to name a few in the United States. And then internationally, you have the photography show and the video show. You have Photokina in Germany. Or if you don't have access to one of these mega shows, local camera stores also have events like this pretty often. There's a variety of different vendors, from camera manufacturers to accessories to software companies. You name it, at an expo like BILD, they're there. I mean, just look at this list of vendors that was there. You have keynote speakers, panel discussions, photo walks, live demonstrations. There's just so much going on at an event like this, it's almost a little overwhelming. The BILD Expo, for example, is hosted right in New York City at the Jacob Javits Center, which, if you've never been before, is a massive convention hall. And let me tell you, photographers, videographers, and content creators took it over this week. And let's not forget about the best part of the show, the gear. There's so much of it. If it's on B&H's website, it's there. And if it's not there, B&H had a free shuttle from the expo right back to their store where you can go play with everything that's on their website. If you've never been to B&H's store in New York City, it's worth a visit. And definitely plan on spending a few hours there if you're a gear nerd like most photographers and videographers and content creators are. So I've been a photographer for a long time now. Why do I even bother still going to things like this? Well, I like to see where the industry's going. I like to see new ideas. I like to see new gear. I like to hear other people talk. Even if they have a YouTube channel, there's something special about seeing somebody talk in person versus just watching them on your computer or phone or TV. You can connect to what they're talking about in a way it's hard to explain unless you are actually there and experience it for yourself. It's always a good time looking at new gear. The education is top-notch. B&H brings in some of the best speakers in the industry, and they really do a great job with the stages, the performance, the lighting, the topics that they're talking about. They really know how to put on a good show. And as a teacher and a YouTuber, I am a firm believer by leading by example, and I practice what I preach. I love to continue to learn new things, which is why I attend events like this. Sure, some of the topics may be very basic and low level, but maybe I'm not getting the information that they are talking about. Maybe I'm learning how to present the information in a different way that can reach more people. Those are the type of things and the reasons why I go to events like this. Every year when I go to the BILD Expo by B&H, I have the same first impression. It's just, wow. Sometimes you don't realize how many photographers, videographers, and content creators there are out there, because often in this industry, you don't really work with other people. You don't see photographers driving vans around with their name and logo on the side too often, like you would with a contractor or a plumber. You don't go to an office where you are working with 1,000 other people in the same industry as you. Often this job is kind of lonely. So when you go to a place like this and you're seeing tens of thousands of people that are all interested in the same thing as you, it's pretty cool. It's awesome just being in that environment. You have everybody from just hobbyists or people who don't even care about it just because their spouse brought them along to it, all the way up to the top level professionals in the industry. And they're just standing side by side, shoulder by shoulder, playing with a new camera, playing with a new lens, talking to each other about something that doesn't even relate to photography. Me personally, I'm a huge fisherman, but it doesn't really relate to wedding photography too well, so I don't talk about it on this channel too much. But while I was there, I went up to Chris Nichols, the guy from Petapixel, and he's a fisherman as well. And I just told him, like, hey man, I'm a fisherman, you're a fisherman. I love that you incorporate it into your reviews of gear sometimes. Keep doing what you're doing. That's it. We didn't even talk about photography. We talked about fishing. It was awesome. I will say that it gets very crowded there. Very crowded. Now, with so many people in this room together, the Javits Center is huge, but still, it was packed. There were so many people. And if you don't love huge crowds, maybe it's not for you, but let me tell you, it is definitely worth the visit at least one time. And I mean, the education opportunities are endless. There are 4 different stages where you can go and pick and choose the speakers and the presenters that you want to listen to on the topics that you're interested in. Or maybe you pick a topic that doesn't really apply to you. Me personally, I sat in on a speaker who talked about landscape photography. I don't shoot landscapes at all. Maybe when I'm on vacation, I'll take a picture of a landscape, but that's about it. I don't really photograph landscapes, but I thought it was very interesting listening to somebody outside of my niche talk and the way they go about their practice and the way they think, because it opens my eyes up to other possibilities that I can bring back to my own photography. Even one of my personal favorite photographers, Chris Burkhardt, he does not shoot anything that I shoot, and I don't really shoot anything that he does. I just really enjoy his work. And I listened to him talk, and it was awesome because he even said that himself. It wasn't sponsored by anybody. He wasn't forced to talk about anything, and he was able to talk about what he wanted to talk about. And listening to that was very interesting because it shows what he's truly passionate about and not so much what somebody's paying him to talk about. Chris even mentioned one thing during his speech that I wrote down immediately because I thought it was very interesting and it kind of stuck with me. And that was, the best pictures are the ones that feel timeless. And that is how I kind of approach my wedding photography, which is why I don't do too many of the trendy things unless somebody specifically requests it. Because when somebody looks at my pictures, I want them to almost not know if it was shot 10 days ago or 10 years ago. I want it to look timeless, just like Chris was talking about. So I thought that was very interesting how the two of us had a similar mindset to 2 different types of photography. And let's not forget about the gear. The gear there is amazing. There's so much of it. And let me tell you, I am a die-hard through and through Canon fanboy. But Canon, what's up with Nikon and Sony outdoing your booth? Now, Canon had the cool big lens above their booth, and they had gear for you to try. But Sony and Nikon had way more stuff for you to play with. Plus, they had the opportunity for you to shoot models right at their booth. They had little scenes set up for you to play with their gear. And also, Canon had their fun lenses, the big boy ones, the 100 to 300 2.8, the 400mm, the 600mm, locked up in glass. Nikon and Sony, you could play with them. Canon, they said, What's up with that, Canon? Huh? What's up with that? I don't know. That doesn't sit well with me. But nevertheless, there's every camera body to play with that Canon made, and as well as Nikon and Sony and everybody else who was there. Sorry if I'm leaving out Fuji and Olympus, but I'm talking about the big boys who had the big booths there. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, you name the manufacturer that makes something that you use in your photography, they probably had a booth with everything that they make. And it was there for you to put your hands on, play with, and really experience. Even some of the lighting booths, they were bringing out some massive lights. I wonder what somebody would say if I brought out this light at a wedding. This thing is massive. It was bigger than me. The networking and the opportunities to meet new people within the industry is also phenomenal. Now, when I went to a smaller, more local camera shop for an expo, I met people who follow my channel, and I don't have a big following. So that was really cool getting to meet some of the people that have watched my videos. Now at BILD, there's a lot more people. There's a lot of opportunity to meet new people. I necessarily did not go there to network. I went there with different intentions, but if you are looking to meet people within the industry, this could be a great opportunity. I saw countless numbers of people exchanging social media, business cards, information, where they're networking with each other right there. If you've never attended an expo like this before, I highly suggest going and check it out, but make sure a couple things that you're gonna wanna do. Wear some comfortable shoes. Bring your camera gear for you to play with. There's a lot of opportunities for you to shoot, as well as shoot with other gear. You could bring your camera and try out different lenses on your camera, and manufacturers are cool with this. You can shoot those pictures right to your own memory cards, so you can bring those images home with you. There's also models for you to work with and shoot that already have their makeup done. There's a scene set, there's lighting set for you, and you can just direct them. And you can sometimes get some good portfolio shots. I've seen people who got portfolio-worthy shots at expos like this before. It's also always good to take a good long look at the schedule of speakers and plan out exactly when you're going to be sitting in workshops, when you're going to go on photo walks, when you're going to go to a live shooting demo, and when you're going to have an opportunity to walk the expo floor. Because there's a lot to see, there's a lot to do, and you have to be selective about the way you choose to spend your time while you're at something like this. Now, as I've mentioned multiple times throughout this video already, I highly suggest, if you've never done it before, go experience BILD or another expo that's similar to it, because as a photographer, as a content creator, as a videographer, it is something that is very inspiring. You can take away at least one little thing while you're there, something that will maybe make you work a little bit harder. Maybe it'll help you be inspired to try something new, something different. Maybe it'll show you a new piece of gear that you didn't even know existed. I know I personally found one, which I thought was awesome, where you can put ND filters behind your lens, inside your camera body. Okay, why has nobody ever told me about this before? Why do I have to buy multiple different size filters for my front of my lens when I could just take the ND filter and put it behind my lens? That's pretty cool. That was like the one piece of gear I was like, oh, yeah, I need this. But regardless of where you are in your photography journey, I think that it is worth visiting. Maybe you don't have the time because you're a hardcore working professional, or you have a 9-to-5 job and photography is just a hobby. At some point, it doesn't have to be every year. It doesn't have to be every other year, but every once in a while, it is good to attend shows like this because it just helps you stay up to date with the industry. It helps you be surrounded by people that are similar to you with similar interests and similar hobbies. And it's just a good time, especially when an expo like BILD is totally free. Free to go to whatever workshop you want to attend, free to attend any photo walk, free to listen to any speaker, free. If you live close enough that it's just a matter of commuting there, definitely check it out. I know there's people that came from around the world for this. And if you live close enough to just drive there, take a train, take a bus, it's worth it. Definitely check it out next time there's a photo expo in your area. And honestly, the biggest reason why I went is because it's motivation for me. Because my goal with this channel is to reach as many people as possible. And within the next 5 to 10 years, I personally would love to be speaking at an expo like BILD or one of these other major expos, because all I've ever wanted to do was help out as many photographers as possible, which is why I started this channel, which is why I expanded past the 4 walls of the classroom that I taught in. I want to help as many people as possible, and I think that speaking at expos like this is a great way to do so. So, if you're following along now, let's see, 5 to 10 years is my goal to be speaking at BILD. Can we make it happen? Let's see. Till next time, peace.